So first question, you've recently announced a healthcare-based platform with a lot on the table. How do you hope this will help Virginians and Southwest Virginians in particular?
Well, I was excited to roll out our affordability agenda for healthcare because healthcare is so frequently one of the top issues that keep so many Virginians up at night. And components of our healthcare affordability agenda focus on, not just standing up for the programs that we know are so vital to Virginians, Medicaid expansion, access to ACA protections. And those are important certainly to the individuals who use those methods of health coverage, but they're also vitally important to the stability and strength of hospitals, particularly in rural communities. And elements of the affordability agenda that we have rolled out focus on lowering the cost of prescription drugs. Certainly, as a member of Congress, this is something that I focused on regularly. But in Virginia, we know that there is more that we can do to use the buying power of the state to get better prices for Virginians, to ensure that transparency is part of the process in terms of hospital costs. So patients know what it is that they are walking into. Enforcing that transparency is important. Also going after the pharmacy benefit managers. Those are the in-between organizations that without much transparency are widely understood to be the culprits in driving up prices. And importantly, particularly across all of Virginia, but importantly, particularly for Southwest Virginia, ensuring that we can go to the pharmacies of our choice, including independent local pharmacies. So frequently, we will see that patients are not permitted to utilize their local or independent pharmacy. And not only is this bad from a patient access standpoint, but it also makes it very difficult for those centers of community independent pharmacies to be able to keep running and keep the lights on.
Alrighty. Since November, it seems like there's been an even larger divide between Democrats and Republicans. If you're elected to governor, how do you plan to work with both sides to get things done for Virginia?
My priority has always been and will continue to be serving Virginians and getting things done for Virginians. It's why when I was in Congress, even during divided times, I was ranked the most bipartisan member of Congress throughout my time in Congress because I built coalitions around ideas and issues and solutions that matter to Virginians. And as governor, I will take the same approach. Yes, there is a lot of chaos on Capitol Hill at this moment. There's a lot of chaos in our politics. But what I also know to be true is that I don't think people want that. They want someone who, will fiercely defend the things that they're for, the priorities they're pursuing, yes, but will also work to bring people together, work to make arguments that convince people. And certainly in a place like our wonderful Commonwealth, not everything is a partisan divide between Democrats and Republicans. Sometimes issues are regional, and sometimes issues are based on the industries or economies of local communities. And so, working together with the folks who will be my counterparts in the General Assembly is how I intend to pursue good policy that will continue to support Virginians across our Commonwealth.
Ready? During the past 4 years, we've seen a Virginia with a Republican governor, and we've seen a lot of Republican-led bills going back to the previous question that we asked. Um, are there any particular pieces of legislation around Virginia state politics that you'd like to either adapt or improve or add if you're elected?
Well, certainly there have been some good bills that have been bipartisan that have gone through, the governor signed, and it will be the next governor's job to do the implementation. And so working on the premise that some of the efforts to move Virginia forward have been in very recent years bipartisan. Now we need to actually implement so that we're seeing results for Virginians. There's a variety of bills that did go through the General Assembly, did receive bipartisan support, and some of which have been vetoed by the governor. One in particular related to local decisions related to investments in schools. I think that that's an area where there needs to be, significant progress forward, allowing local communities to make the decisions that are right for them about investments in the physical infrastructure of schools. And also in the future, I'll be rolling out an energy affordability policy. Certainly, I think Virginia is making tremendous strides forward. We're on pace to have the largest offshore wind project in the world, which is something I think every Virginian should be proud of. An example there. It's great for Virginia's economy. But we also know that, particularly in Southwest Virginia, there's been real issues of affordability as it relates to energy, with rising energy costs that are just outpacing what people can contend with. So in the coming weeks, that will be another focus, and something that I know has also been on the minds of so many members of the General Assembly. And so I look forward to working with them to find real solutions for Virginians and endeavor to bring down costs.
So a lot of times we hear that Virginia ends in Roanoke and Southwest Virginia gets forgotten. How are you going to ensure that Southwest Virginia does not get forgotten? And why should Southwest Virginia voters cast their ballot for you?
Well, I would hope that Virginians across Southwest Virginia and far Southwest spend a bit of time looking at the work that I did in Congress, focused on rural and agricultural communities. I was the only Virginian serving on the Agriculture Committee during my time in Congress, and certainly picking up the Virginia mantle after Congressman Goodlatte retired from Congress. And so my experience has been one of really focusing on and prioritizing the needs of rural Virginia, though my congressional district didn't stretch that far into Southwest Virginia. And for me, the reality is that I believe every portion of Virginia, every part of our Commonwealth is important, has unique strengths, unique beauties, and as the entirety of our state, we need to have a focus on what might be the unique needs of Southwest Virginia, and we need a governor who is going to spend time there, is going to spend time focused on listening to people about what some of the challenges are. And I've been, grateful for the opportunity that I've spent in, doing a morning long roundtable with folks in Norton, as an example, where people brought issue after issue that, while there's similar challenges facing other parts of Virginia, the reality is some of those challenges are specific and unique. I've spent time in Bristol talking to voters, and other places. And now I've just started naming towns, so I'll stop myself. But I look forward to spending more time talking not just with voters, but also with local mayors and Board of Supervisor members and town council members who know very clearly what are the challenges that are facing their communities and what they need out of a governor and what they need out of Richmond. And it's incredibly important to me that every person across Virginia, feel like their voices are being heard in Richmond, and that the governor is listening. And so I hope to earn the vote of voters across Southwest Virginia, and I certainly will be working hard this summer to give voters every reason to consider my candidacy and hopefully cast their ballot for me.